It is July 17th, 2022, a beautiful sunset. I am Augustus Grigori, and I'm here to share with you, I was about to say shave, I don't know why. I'm here to share with you another video. I want to talk about a little bit more about my plans. So I'm going to talk about that first, actually. So within the last 4 years, I was doing a lot of sigil channeling the sigils of specific gods, goddesses, demons, angels, etc. And my goal here is to make it more effective for people like you and me to be able to evoke these entities more effectively with these sigils. Now, 4 years ago, I channeled a sigil of Mammon. This is what it looks like. You may have seen this on the internet a few times. I know I have. In fact, when I left YouTube, I remember seeing this on a few occult groups. And the thing was, I was really surprised to see there were some people selling this sigil on t-shirts, on flags, on phone cases, you name it. I've seen this stuff on like Redbubble and Etsy, all sorts of different things. I guess I can say I'm the original channeler of that sigil. Literally the first ever record of this ever being posted on the internet was my sigil, which was posted on the Mammon page for VK Jehanum's website. And yeah, that's literally the earliest publication of that sigil. Now, just because I am the earliest publication of that sigil, you'd think that I would claim rights to it or claim ownership of it, and I'm here to say I do not claim ownership to it, simply because I'm just the messenger. This sigil is owned by Mammon. So let it be told, you see this sigil, you do whatever the hell you want with it. You want to sell it? Go for it. Go for it. Seriously, go for it. Because ultimately, this is up to Mammon whether or not he wants you to make money off of it. So if you're fine with that, go for it. I'm going to be channeling sigils from here on out. And if you want to sell it, you want to sell prints of it, that is completely up to you. I don't own the sigil. And I don't plan to, I guess, claim ownership of said sigils simply because it's owned by the corresponding entity. So I want to get that out of the way as soon as possible, because I know eventually someone's going to ask about it. Someone is going to ask about that sigil. So this goetic style sigil was created because there were a lot of sigils of Mammon that I just wasn't personally satisfied with. I didn't feel as much of a connection when it came to evoking him. I saw sigils where they are, there's a Ducante sigil, which, if it works for you, it works for you. That's great. There are there's that inverted pentagram with the infinity symbol. There's this pyramid-like design with a bunch of other designs in it. There's a lot of different kinds of sigils of Mammon, but I specifically channeled this sigil, this goetic sigil of Mammon, because I wanted something that I believe would be a powerful, direct contact with this entity. And the reason why I'm saying this is because of one reason. Mammon's name, Mammon, is technically not the name of Mammon, if that makes any sense. It is an old god or an old demon that has capitalized on that name of Mammon. Mammon just means money in Hebrew. It is not necessarily the name of a specific god or demon. So this is an old deity or entity. I thought at one point it was the Canaanite god Gad. I think it's Gad. I don't know how you pronounce it. And Mammon specifically said that he is not. In fact, he specifically says that he is an old god, lost in history, that has taken on the name of Mammon simply because it was a much easier name to adopt. It's literally like, well, if you're the god of money, why don't you just call yourself Money, right? And that's essentially what Mammon did. And because of that, he has, when you call on Mammon, you call on the power that is this entity, this god, this demon. Now, I've been working with Mammon for a really long time. And what I mean by really long time, I mean like 4 or 5 years. So maybe not really a long time compared to some people who have been doing this for far longer. Mammon is a powerful entity. He can make you incredibly wealthy. He can make you rich. He can make you successful in the realm of finances and material goods. Now, here's the thing. I've noticed that Mammon doesn't work with anyone. He doesn't just work with anyone. And I know this because I've had people who've tried to work with him and they got like fuck all when it comes to working with him. And the reason being is Mammon doesn't really like using his energy or his time on all endeavors. And so although he may be the god of money, he is not necessarily out there to help make you win small amounts on the lottery or the scratch tickets or whatever it is out there. In fact, I feel like, if anything, Mammon is a demon more on capitalism than he is on the demon of money. So if you are a small business owner, or if you are someone who is working in something that involves commission sales, or you have a talent, like you're a musician or an artist or something, you have a service or a product that you want to get out there, Mammon would be right for you. Call your doctor if Mammon is right for you. No, he likes working with small businesses, big businesses of all sorts, and that's where he thrives the most. He's not here to help you win in the casino. He's not really interested in that. He's not really interested in helping you gain inheritance. Now, debatable. I've heard some people say that they've actually gotten quite a bit of inheritance by working with Mammon. It's going to be different for everybody, but from what I have experienced firsthand, he likes working with people who have businesses. He likes to work with people who have something tangible that can be used to make money. So, also another thing that I do want to add, there is something that Mammon does not like working with, and that's MLMs and multi-level marketing, direct selling, network marketing, whatever you want to call it. He does not like working with that. So if you are one of those kinds of people, you're kind of shit out of luck. Wouldn't really recommend working with Mammon in that, because he's not really a fan of that. But he will work with anyone. If you have a small business, if you have an Etsy, or if you have Shopify, whatever it is out there that you have, Mammon is powerful. But he's not willing to work with just anyone. If you have to have clear goals, you have to have a clear idea as to what it is you plan on creating in your life. So if your plan is to make millions of dollars, you should have an idea or some sort of an avenue for you to be able to make that, or have the potential of making that. So, for example, you want to create $1 million in revenue every day, or every year, every week, every month, whatever, and you're stuck in a dead-end job that pays you minimum wage, Mammon is going to either not work with you, or he will create so much shit in your life that you're going to have to quit that job and start that business eventually, which kind of leeways onto people being afraid of working with Mammon because they're afraid of their lives going to shit when they work with him. And I'm here to say, well, if you don't open yourself, keep your mind open to the possibilities, and you stay stagnant, expecting that riches and wealth will come to you by staying that way, Mammon will cause shit. He will stir the pot in your life to allow yourself to be open to those avenues of wealth. If you refuse to move, Mammon will move you. Okay? So you want to be able to create outstanding results in your life with Mammon. I would say have a plan. Have something that's going to help you create that wealth. When it comes to offerings, Mammon loves public praise. That's one of his favorite things to do. Sorry, mosquito tried to land on my wrist, so you saw the camera kind of wobble. It's because of that. Mammon likes praise. Mammon doesn't really necessarily need offerings per se. I've even been told Mammon just I don't know how to word this, but I guess he gets off on your success. So your success is already enough of an offering for him. At least that is for me. Maybe he'll ask you for something, but that is the word that I received. So that's how you work with Mammon. I don't have much information that is necessarily new on Mammon, because a quick Google search or going onto VK's website will give you pretty much everything you need to fully understand who Mammon is. I've seen him appear to me in different ways. Actually, it's really funny. I've evoked him once, and he actually came to me similar to like an elephant-headed god. Not like Ganesh, but like his own independent god. And I think it was more likely because my brain was kind of fucking with me, because Mammon is kind of close to the word mammoth, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, Mammon is a mammoth. Oh, so he's an elephant-headed. Oh, okay. But yeah, Mammon sometimes he manifests as something elephant-headed, but I've had him manifest as a interesting, like a skinny humanoid-like entity with dark grayish black skin and wearing a crown that goes both ways. So it has, you have the spikes of the crown going upwards, but you also have spikes in the crown going downwards, and these downward spikes are pretty much like they're covering his eyes, and they're obscuring his eyes and covering. They look kind of like gold. It's like a gold crown of horns. And he also has either long white hair or white hair that seems to dynamically change in length. It's really interesting. He has shown up to me as a really big character, kind of like almost nearly Jabba the Hutt-ish, and having jeweled rings on every finger. He takes on many appearances. I've even had him come to me in the form of what looks like an angel with gray wings. There's so many. Now, appearance-wise, I mean, this may give you some sort of a hint as to what he may look like. But like I said, if your experiences are going to be exclusive to you at times, and as long as you're sure you're not dealing with some sort of imposter or trickster spirit, I think you're going to be fine. Mammon may manifest as a bunch of different things. Heck, some people ask spirits to take on a more appealing or less scary form, and sometimes they'll comply with that. Yeah, that's pretty much it for my talking about Mammon, but I want to talk about what I have planned for this specific channel as well. So not just for this channel, but just in general as who I am, Augustus Grigori. Here's the thing about these sigils that I've been doing. There's a lot of gods and goddesses out there, deities, demons, etc., that have been lost in time, or they're just lost in translation. Like nobody in the West necessarily works with them. They come from old roots, or they're just worked with a certain type of ethnic group, whatever it is. Like, for example, I noticed that when it comes to stuff like Kimbanda, a lot of people don't really, in the West, they don't really work with them as much. aside from maybe like Pombagira, not so much the Eshus. And I want to be able to, even though they have these different kinds of, they have their own sigils, like exclusive to the practice of Kimbanda. Like they're called ponturiscados. I do speak Portuguese, European Portuguese, but I want to channel sigils where people can actually communicate effectively, maybe without the need of being initiated. Now that might piss a lot of people off, especially people within the realm of Kimbanda, so I totally understand if this is not up your alley, but it's a possibility. I'm not saying that I'm going to be doing this. However, what I do plan to do is gods that are lost in history, gods that are lost through ethnic groups, and gods that I have been personally working with, I do plan on unleashing them, unleashing their presence known onto the world for people to work with. They have helped me in so many ways that I want them to help everyone else. So I'm going to make that happen. Eventually, I'll be channeling more sigils. I think in the near future, I may actually channel a sigil of Moloch eventually. I'm going to start working with familiar demons that people know that don't have familiar sigils that they can easily call upon. I like going with a goetic style of sigils most of the time, and that's just personal preference because people love evoking in that way. I have many ways of channeling these sigils, but I find it the most effective, in my opinion, doing it that way, because it anchors you mentally to know how to evoke this demon. Because a lot of people, when it comes to evocation, they work with the Goetia pretty much almost like as the first thing they'll do is usually work with the Goetia, and I think it just puts you in a better headspace to evoke and make it more effective. So I'm going to help you with that. Second of all, did I say second of all? Third of all? See, my mind's all scrambled right now. I'm getting tired and it's dark. So yeah, here's the thing about Goetia and the sigils. I'm going to be evoking them. I'm going to be channeling them so you can evoke them in the style of Goetia. And other than that, I do plan on doing some old gods eventually. Do plan on making a book sometime. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But for my first episode of today, I want to just keep it really clean, talk about my plans, aka what I just talked about, talk about Mammon a little bit and his sigil, about how I view this sigil. I'm really glad that people are using the sigil. It actually makes me really happy to see that people are preferring the sigil. I've seen some people on different forums say like, hey, what's the better sigil, like this one of Mammon or this one? This one looks really cool, and they'll point to, they'll point to my sigil, and it makes me really happy to see that. Not my sigil, sorry, my channeled sigil, and yeah, it makes me really happy. So yeah, I plan to do more, and we'll see how it goes. So once again, this is Augustus Grigori signing out. Get ready, because I really do hope I'll be changing the face of evocation very soon with what I'm about to contribute to for all of us. We'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, I mean, whatever, I tried. But I'm really hoping that you all get a lot of value from what I am about to share with you. Once again, this is Augustus Grigori signing out. Let's go do some fucking magic.